Before women were welcome in publishing, Mary Shelley shocked the world. She wrote science fiction, horror, and heartache, and she did it all before her 21st birthday. Welcome to the vault of lost tales, resurrecting the authors that time tried to bury. Mary Shelley was born in 1797 to two of the most radical thinkers of their time. Her father, William Godwin, was a political philosopher and early anarchist. Her mother, Mary Wollstonecraft, was a fierce advocate for women's rights and the author of A Vindication of the Rights of Woman, a cornerstone of feminist thought. But brilliance came with heartbreak. Mary Wollstonecraft died just 11 days after giving birth, leaving behind a daughter destined to carry both her intellect and her sorrow. Mary grew up surrounded by books, debate, and ghosts, literally raised in the shadow of a brilliant mother she never knew. By 16, she had fallen in love with the already married romantic poet Percy Bysshe Shelley. The two eloped to France and scandalized British society. She was a teenage runaway, a grieving daughter, and a literary prodigy all at once. And by 18, during a stormy summer in Switzerland, Mary Shelley gave birth to a legend. Frankenstein, a novel that would change the shape of horror, science fiction, and Gothic literature forever. In 1816, a group of young romantics, Mary, Percy Shelley, Lord Byron, John Polidori, and a few close companions, gathered at the Villa Diodati on the shores of Lake Geneva. It was known as the Year Without a Summer, caused by a volcanic eruption that darkened skies and chilled Europe. Trapped indoors by relentless storms, the group entertained themselves with wine, philosophy, and the macabre. One night, Byron proposed a ghost story contest, a challenge to see who could craft the most terrifying tale. Byron scribbled a few paragraphs and abandoned them. Polidori's unfinished idea later morphed into The Vampire, the first modern vampire story. Percy's attempt faded into the fog. But Mary had a nightmare. She envisioned a young scientist kneeling beside a body stitched together from corpses, and a spark of life that should never have been kindled. She awoke, shaken, inspired, possessed. In her words, "I saw the pale student of unhallowed arts kneeling beside the thing he had put together. From that dark dream, Frankenstein was born. A story not just of science gone wrong, but of creation without compassion, genius without foresight, and a creature abandoned by its maker." She didn't just win the contest, she rewrote the rules of literature. Mary Shelley's life was shadowed by staggering loss. Of the 4 children she bore, only one survived past infancy. She watched helplessly as illness, poverty, and fate claimed them one by one. Then, in 1822, tragedy struck again. Percy Shelley drowned in a sailing accident off the coast of Italy. Mary was only 24. Alone, grieving, and raising their only surviving son, she returned to England, a place that still viewed her as a scandal, a curiosity, or worse, simply Percy's widow. But Mary Shelley refused to disappear. She wrote with quiet defiance, producing novels like The Last Man, an early work of apocalyptic fiction that eerily foreshadowed modern dystopias. She published travelogues, biographies, and political essays. She edited Percy's works and preserved his legacy, even as she built her own. Society wanted to place her in the margins, she chose the author's chair instead. Mary didn't just survive, she endured with purpose, and while she never again reached the heights of Frankenstein, her continued work pushed the boundaries of Gothic fiction, speculative storytelling, and the role of women in literature. Her legacy became one of resilience, reinvention, and radical creativity, forged in the fires of grief. Today, Mary Shelley is rightly remembered as the mother of science fiction, though her reach goes far beyond genre. Frankenstein is more than a tale of a creature stitched from corpses. It's a meditation on creation without responsibility, knowledge without wisdom, and humanity without compassion. In Victor Frankenstein's hubris, we see the unchecked ambition of every modern innovator. In the creature's loneliness, we recognize the ache of all who are made but not loved, seen but not accepted. Her story was a prophecy, cloaked in lightning and stitched with grief. Every tale of artificial intelligence that turns on its maker, every reanimated corpse or bioengineered nightmare owes a quiet, shivering debt to Mary. From Isaac Asimov to Octavia Butler, from Blade Runner to Ex Machina, her shadow looms over every future we imagine, and through it all she remains a woman far ahead of her time, young, brilliant, grieving, and unrelenting, writing the future before the world was ready to read it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts below.